on account, like, I am not an object of worship, and that is not what my aims or goals are. Like, my aim or goal is what was is uh, ontological evidence. I want to prove God exists, and if you know, watching my little YouTube channel here, uh, if watching that, if someone could watch that and come away at the end and say, you know what, I don't think God exists, well, then I have fucking failed. And that's it. That, um, I was trying to prove that God exists, and that in doing so, humanity would be saved. Not that was just my idea. That's not how it works. Everybody knows that God exists, and they spend a lot of time convincing themselves that they are not God. And that's our default mode of being, and I need to come to grips with that. But that does not resolve my personal incarnated issues. Personal incarnated issues being that, like, I need money to live and I refuse to fucking work, and my partner doesn't make enough money to make the family budget balance, let alone the consumable shit that I need. I drink, I smoke weed, I eat food. I have upkeep costs. And the last year, I've spent my entire life savings taking care of myself and my partner and our child. That I could have done anything with that money. It was only about 20 grand, but I could have did anything with that money. And without deciding, without free will, I allowed myself to spend that money how I will, paying bills, buying food, cooking food, being like the domestic, a portion of mom work. I wasn't doing 100% of mom work, but I was doing like 50% of mom work. And part of the dad work, the providing, the where did this food come from? Oh, from his labor that earned the money to get the food, or selflessly, with no expectation of result. And to heap on the difficulty level, we're getting towards the end here, like the video is gonna shut out or whatever. Going into the relationship and all that, it was about physicality. I'm always been a highly sexual person, and the Maslow's hierarchy of needs and all that, like, being a smart guy and trying to obtain sex is and a self-righteous person is very difficult, because you can't. Intellectual coercion of women into sex is scummy. Any coercion of women into sex is scummy. Consent is proper. I wound up fetishizing consent on my journey up. And what that looks like is wanting women that want me for me, without me putting on a show to make them think they want me and then pull a bait and switch. I've always put the worst foot forward so then it can improve after that. And I've done that repeatedly. It has resulted in the termination of 3 long-term relationships. Could potentially result in the termination of a 4th long-term relationship. But what happens is they get tired of my bullshit. That they realized that, like, they knew it was there, like, they ignored the red flags to walk in, or they saw the red flags on the way in. And they were like, you know what? I could deal with those red flags. And then, partway through, acknowledging, like, oh, wait a minute, maybe he wasn't lying. Maybe he is, like, a really manipulative jerk, or whatever, or so self-centered that I won't get what I want out of this, or my expectations are not being met because he's too self-absorbed or whatever. And it's like, hey, don't say I didn't warn you, because I let you know that, like, I have delusions of grandeur. I think I'm fucking God. I know I think I know everything. I know everything. See, I'm suffering from this. This is, hold on. What would the model of the prophet story look like in modern times? What I've been involved in is like a King Midas story, but instead of whatever I touch turns to gold, whatever I say is true. Through the eyes of others. People are like, oh, damn, Randall's real fucking smart. Why is he so fucking weird? Why is he doing all this weird shit? Oh, he's saying shit I don't want to hear that sounds true? Yeah. Then people tend to... That's a problem with credibility. People will fucking listen to you. You don't want people listening to you. That's not... That ain't it, Chief. That ain't... People listening to you is not a good thing. So that's why I get excited when I get 0 likes on shit I post on the internet or whatever. Like when nobody wants to stick their neck out and be like, oh yeah, that dude was onto something. No, man. Nobody should be fucking listening to me. That's the mechanism which perpetuates the game. If people listen to me, the game would end. Because I know God's plan. Me personally. It was me. I did it. All the pain and suffering in the world, go ahead, pin that shit on me. I'm okay with it. I don't think many other people are. Nobody wants to own up to the faults of every other fucking fuck up that ever lived. I am the king fuck up. I'm the king of fuck ups. And I just scooped everything that everybody ever did wrong into a little basket, and I carry that around and I make apologia for it all day. Like, yes, oh, existence continue to go. Because all of this shit was just necessary, and fuck, man. And nobody's... I've been seeing the science starting to get published about how corporate greed causes inflation. They're starting to come around to the ideals. Rent and interest are bad. Maximize your fiduciary responsibility to your shareholders. That's bad. It should not. Greed is legally required. If we made a system where materialistic greed is legally required, the system's probably fucked up. And that's why I won't participate in it. I'd rather fucking die. I'd rather go be homeless and beg. I ain't... So beyond money... not working. This running into my where my funds run out. That's an act of faith. I'm waiting for a miracle to happen. I think I'm going to hit the lottery. I think a relative's going to die and leave me an inheritance. I don't think I have to work for money. I don't think money's real. I don't think linear time is real. Um, there is, I recently seen a spiral time that allows the iterations to exist at proper intervals in order to perpetuate the motion of the fucking machine or whatever. I see high level shit and I refuse to pretend that I don't. I think I have useful information, and people get super skeptical of that information because they think there's some kind of ulterior motive behind it. He couldn't be doing that for the benefit of humanity. He's doing that to make money so he doesn't have to work anymore. He wants to, he thinks he's the savior. Dude, if you only fucking knew my lifetime, and I don't even want money. I want the things that are provided by it. I want food and shelter. I want the occasional travel or like food service, like people preparing meals for me. That's so lovely. I try to limit that. It's a luxury. It's not a necessity. You can make every meal for the rest of your fucking life, but it gets old after a while. And it's nice to have the luxury of other people taking care of you for a change. Camera didn't cut out. That's fucking crazy. I must have been nailing it today. What is magic? All these people doing magic. Magic is the vehicle by which God made magic, and magic is a superstructure that underlies our physical reality. And there's even structures beyond that that I don't comprehend, but the magical one is the next barrier that we're reaching towards. And people practice magic, and people have realized that magic is fucking real. Why? There's only one reason that magic exists, and it's God's ability to prove to people that God exists. Some sort of divinity. Like God, that's the candy that God's passing out to get people to climb into the creepy van. God is a pedophile kidnapping children, handing out fucking candy bars. And it's a good thing that people should take the candy of, oh, if I do magic, I could be more powerful and fix my life. God's teaching people to wield God's power. And through people wielding God's power, people come to acknowledge the existence of God, not and in a not a super God can't be ontologically proven. This is the as close as we can get, where people go, strange shit happens that everything I know, like that the only possible explanation for what I'm witnessing is something beyond material existence. That there is no, and people become, that's where faith comes from. They witness shit that couldn't have fucking happened without the presupposition that there is a God. So I enjoy reveling in the popularity of magic and how people practice it, because that's part of God's plan. God has chosen these people to be believers. And I keep using the word God. It's looser than that. It's divinity. God, don't think I'm talking about the Christian God or the Hindu God or the Buddhist God, or Buddhists don't even have a God, I don't think. Not the Abrahamic Judeo-Christian Muslim God. No. Whenever you put a word to it, that's not the thing. It's ineffable, but there are effable practices by which people get closer. And I am a firm believer in the mystics, the saints, whatever you want to call them. And I think that continues through this day. And I get excited when other people share their insights, because I can tell that they're looking at the same thing I am. We're playing Describe the Elephant, and I can tell they're looking at the same elephant. And it's so beautiful, and it makes me feel like I'm not so alone. These videos aren't scripted. And the fact that I could deliver one, all of them are first take. I think I've mentioned that. And the ability to, I understand what I'm saying. And it blows my mind in real time. And then I could get it even better. Or I get it the second dose after brainwashing myself by watching it or what. Like, when I watch these videos, it's me creating my own current. Or, taking a snapshot and a summary of the current up to this point and feed it back through myself. There's nothing special about the vessel. Yet there is. I could tell you all about my body. And it's fucking amazing. And one word to describe is blessed. Like, the only explanation I have about how my body, my mind and body performs is by being blessed. Or what that. Now, people like to think of intelligence as a blessing. That's not